Welcome back to the Kansas Speedway, the BPU 200 today here on Speed Vision. I'm Rick Benjamin with Bill Venturini. Frank Kimmel in the 46. The red and black machine is your leader. A couple of car lengths back is Ryan Newman in the 27 car. And Jason Jarrett sits third in that purple and yellow 67 machine. Trying to get up and run with these leaders as they lap through some of the slower cars. Bill, you were talking about how rough this racetrack might be in the hot conditions on tires. What are we seeing here so far?
Well, the racetrack itself isn't rough. What we're concerned about is a new racetrack. You know, they were here and tested. When they tested, it was cold. It wasn't as hot as it is now, so they didn't get a true tire test on the temperature on what the tire was going to do. And we saw some problems in practice where the tires were starting to blister pretty quick, like within 10 or 15 laps. So everybody's pretty apprehensive right now to wait and see what the tire is going to do, hoping that maybe, like right now, racing in the shade will definitely help the program. I know everyone's got concerns about it.
As we said at the top of the broadcast, not quite 80 degrees air temperature, but track temperature close to 110, which is pretty darn warm in the month of June. Newman about 4 car lengths behind Kimmel as they race for the lead down the back straightaway. A 1.5 mile racetrack, kind of like Kansas City or Charlotte, but the front stretch is not two distinct turns, is it?
No, and you know, what I like about this ARCA series, which has really made it interesting in the last years, we've been to so many new, beautiful facilities.
Yeah.
We've been to Nashville, we've been to Kansas here, we've been to Kentucky, and we ran Kentucky last year, and I felt that was one of the premier racetracks in the country right now. And now we're here at Kansas City. We're going to go to Chicago, the new one in Joliet. I'm excited about the new racetracks.
Sure.
The only concern we've got is, like we said, we go to new racetracks, we're there with an unknown factor, and that is how will the tires work. And, you know, Hoosier's been trying. They've been trying to do testing, and they've got the opinions from the guys. But it's really hard to do it until you get into these race conditions where, you know, some guys will hold back on tire testing.
Yeah.
You know, and
sure,
you don't want to show everything you got, and you're playing. Where now we're going to see how things work out.
Tim Steele in the HS Dye 16 car runs in 4th spot. Steele trying to get on track this year. Qualified on the outside of the front row here, but obviously does not have the race setup in his machine, at least at this point, that Kimmel and Newman and even Jason Jarrett do, because they are pretty far ahead of the 16 car. We watched Steele a moment ago lap by Donnie Morlock's 48 car. Kimmel still leading, slower traffic ahead, though, and he's going to have to be careful as he picks his way around. Let's jump on board with Frog Hall in the 90 car, the Celsius Tannery machine. He's a local driver from Kansas City. Leaders blast by him on the high side.
Yeah, these two guys, look at it. They're like stuck like glue here. And I think Ryan's content in letting Frank lead right now. And I don't see any urgency to go ahead and over-push the car right now. Right now you can see these two guys seem to be the class of the field right away.
Sure.
Tim Steele and Jason Jarrett are hanging in there, but you know, you've got to wait. You got to see what the tires are going to do. You got to see your pit strategy. And then you notice we're using a lot of lap traffic here today. And that's going to be a big factor. Every time you set a guy to go past him, you're going to have to make sure you got a clean racetrack to do it.
Kimmel through the tri-oval, down the short chute, heading toward turn 1. Newman getting a little bit closer, a couple of car lengths behind. 200 miles, 134 laps here on the 1.5 mile the distance. What are you thinking, 2 pit stops today?
Yeah, at least 2. You know, I think you're going to probably see maybe 3 or 4 because there's going to be a little concern, like I said, about what's going on with the tires. But, you know, if everything goes good, you definitely got to have 2 pit stops. To run, you'd have to do it in one. Man, it would have to be perfectly timed right in between the middle of the race, you know.
Yeah.
Definitely this is a two pit stop race.
Lapping by, the leaders go by Ron Cox's 23 car out of Soddy Daisy, Tennessee. Cox, one of the series point leaders. He's in the top 10 in ARCA points. Let's check in on Mike Swain Jr. in the Dynatech Chevrolet. He was so strong at Kentucky a couple of weeks ago. We expect a good run out of that team in their Monte Carlo here this afternoon.
Well, this is a new team for Mike Swain this year. You know, he's used to running with his own equipment, his own team. This year he's with this new team, and they expect a lot out of him, and he's performing really well. That car's been running in the top 5 everywhere he's gone so far this year.
Swain qualified 5th, hanging right in the top group of cars right now. On board with John Metcalf, qualified 8th. Metcalf has backpedaled a couple of spots to 11th.
Yeah, John Metcalf driving the Remax car, definitely our series sponsor. We're glad to have them on board as a sponsor for a race car along with the series. They've been really good for the whole ARCA program.
Metcalf and his team race out of Colorado. Here's Ed Barrier working to the outside of Jason Jarrett. Now Jarrett's slowing down.
He's slowing down. You know, I don't know if he's got a problem or not. Oh, he's definitely slowed down a lot.
The ML Motorsports Chevrolet caution on the Speedway. Jarrett out of the gas, so we're under yellow for the first time today here at Kansas. Kimmel leads Newman, Steele, Barrier, and Jason Jarrett holds 5th. We'll be back. Welcome back to the brand new Kansas Speedway here on Speed Vision, the ARCA RE Series, as we show you our field summary. Top left of the screen, brought to you by Suzuki. Pit stops have taken place for many of the contenders. The field shuffled up a little. Andy Belmont will restart second now behind Ryan Newman. Kimmel, who'd been leading in the 46, sits third. Up through the gears. Oh, it looks like Belmont with problems. Maybe he missed a shift in there.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. He was in second gear, went to go for third, and missed it. Yeah, from what I can see, because he's getting up to speed now. Kimmel almost wrecked him.
Sure did. Field gets away finally with that little fluff by Andy Belmont there. We jump on board with Kimmel. He moves back into second spot behind Ryan Newman now. Down the back straightaway into turn 3 here. Lap car directly ahead. Kimmel will try to swing around that machine and make tracks toward the lead once again.
Look at the tire donut on the inside of Frank's car. I think that's from Andy Belmont on a restart.
Could well be, because as we saw, looked like Belmont perhaps missed a gear coming to the green flag and dropped way back. He was second in line on the restart. He's fallen back deep in the field. It's Tim Steele in the 16 car up to third, and Jason Jarrett, we thought maybe there was a problem with the 67. He slowed down right before that caution, but he's back up to speed.
Yeah, from what I heard, that he had a tire that was going down, and fortunately there was a yellow.
So the leaders are away cleanly. Steele now in the 16 will go to work to try to reel in Frank Kimmel. If you're Steele and his team, Bill Venturini, what are you trying to accomplish here the next couple of pit stops to get that car a little better and fast enough to challenge?
Well, you know, they're a veteran team, the HS Dye team. And I don't think they're really too concerned right now. They're not racing Ryan Newman or Frank Kimmel right now. I think they're racing a new racetrack and a setup. And as long as you stay, you know, they're not going to get a lap down. These are, you know, a top-running team. They're going to stay on the lead lap, and that's all I'd want to do right now for the first half of the races. You know, stay in contention, keep the leaders in sight, and just as I say that, look at Frank Kimmel goes underneath Ryan Newman.
Door-to-door for the lead, down through the tri-oval. Kimmel on the inside forces Newman up out of the groove, and Frank Kimmel goes back out in front.
Boy, now I know why Frank Kimmel switched from a Chevrolet to a Ford Taurus. These Fords really have some downforce, and they're working really good in the corners here.
Kimmel in his Taurus, the 46 out in front. Newman in the 27. The third Ford in the group there is the 16 of Steele. And then the first Chevrolet in line, that's the 67 of Jarrett, followed by Barrier. And that target saw is 19. So top 5 cars starting to bunch up a little bit now here at Kansas Speedway. First weekend ever racing at this brand new ISC facility. And a beautiful speed plant it is. Brand new asphalt, of course, very smooth, very flat. Nice banking in the corners.
Well, this is a beautiful facility. You know, we saw a great race earlier this morning with the Winston West, and it's showing again here in the ARCA Series. Mike Swaim, now he's up to 6th.
And Andy Belmont right behind him in the 1 car. Now, Belmont, you'll recall, on that restart previously couldn't get up to speed. We thought perhaps he had dropped a gear, trying to come up through the gearbox. And we'll try to find out with Don Radabaugh about that situation in just a moment. Don standing by now with Kevin Belmont, Andy's crew chief.
Well, we're with Andy Belmont's crew chief, brother Kevin Belmont. Couldn't help but notice the car really backed up on that last restart. You all right?
Yeah, the American Online Taurus lost third gear, so it's going to be a little tough for us. We'll be slow going, but it's a long race, hopefully a lot of green. We'll get them back. We'll be all right.
A lot of optimism there for that team as we watch Andy Belmont and Mike Swaim's tire tracks.
Like he said, when you lose a gear in a transmission, that's when you hope for a lot of green flag laps because those restarts will kill you.
So Swaim now trying to get on track a little in that Dynatech machine, but there's caution on the speedway. The yellow flag is in the air. The leader, Kimmel, backs out of the gas down the back straightaway. Caution for the second time here today. We understand there may be some debris on the surface, so they've thrown another yellow flag.
Well, yeah, that debris is parts of these tires. The concern that they had about these tires coming apart, it's starting to happen, and the debris is chunks of these tires coming apart on the back straightaway.
So many of the teams may well take advantage of this to come back down pit road, take a look at those Hoosiers, and find out if they do need a tire change at this point or not. Kimmel leads the field back onto the front straightaway, and the lead group of cars will indeed come back down pit road. Ryan Newman right behind Kimmel. Then you've got Steele, Jason Jarrett. Mike Swaim should be next in line. There he is in the 22 car. And Ed Barrier in that first group of 6. So the teams are ready to jump the wall.
Yeah, you got to remember that only cars on the lead lap can pit on the first lap. So the other cars that are going around the racetrack, they're a lap down right now. I think everyone's going to come in and at least check tires, if not change them.
Looks like they're going to do right side tires on Kimmel's machine and then go around and do left. They'll take 4. And this is where Ryan Newman may have quite an advantage with the Penske team pitting the 27 car. That's a Winston Cup team, and they pit Ryan Newman, of course, in the Busch Series as well. And they probably have just a little bit better opportunity to get him out of the pit road a little quicker. Don Radabaugh is there.
The other front runners back on pit road. That would include Ryan Newman again. Car still a little too tight. Took some more bite out of the left rear, and Ryan Newman's off and away.
Rick, did you notice how good that Jackman was?
Sure.
That's Chad North. That's my future son-in-law.
Did a great job indeed. We'll take a quick timeout and be right back at Kansas Speedway.